Well, hello everyone. We are live on Facebook. Facebook Live, pretty amazing thing that's available to us in these days and times. Gives me a chance to share about essential oils, which is one of my basic passions in life besides family and work, and I just love oils. So here we go. I got this class that I want to share about diffusion of oils, also known as inhalation technique of essential oils. And I also want to share about the topical application of oils and the ingestion of oils, which is kind of a bugaboo to some people, but I'll explain to you why it's not to me. So let's begin with one form of inhalation of oils, and that's where you take a spray bottle and put a scent in it. And a lot of people have done this before with fragrances of whatever and made a mist, and that's pretty old-fashioned nowadays, very old school. But I mean, you can still put whatever you want in here, whether it's bug repellent or a wonderful floral scent to go around your house or your room. I prefer the modern method now, which is actually using devices which set up a solid mist in a room of whatever flavor you're interested in. It's really important to know the concept of diffusion and inhalation. The idea of being able to diffuse oils is for all kinds of management of your human skills, whether it's emotion, motivation, how to fix bad emotions like grief with oils, because that's very possible to do. I'll explain more about that later. The technique for oils that's very commonly done is to just put the water and the oils together and push a button and hope for the best. But really there's a lot of science involved with it. I'd like to get into that a little bit, because if you have too much oil in water, then you can have too much of the essential oils chemical constituents in the air, and they can be irritating to the respiratory tract or even the mucous membranes of the eyes. So the idea is to create the right balance, the right milieu, which is either for motivation or for calming, for like at bedtime, lavender, but also to have it so it's not overpowering. The idea is to have a subtle scent, so someone can walk in the room and say, "It smells good in here," not "What is that?" And you can mix these oils. You can mix singles, or you can buy blends and use them that way. The thing that got me going on this was doTERRA's new doTERRA Living magazine. And they have a special on Guide to Becoming a Diffuser Blend Master. And I like that idea, because the idea of becoming really good at something appeals to me, to become an expert. And you can become very much your own expert at doing the oils. And so let's start with one of the basic ones. doTERRA has numerous water diffusers, vaporizers. This one's called the Petal, or the Lotus, and it's really pretty cool. I actually went about the technique of measuring how much water goes in, because I used to just say, put in a cup. But if you look inside, there's a little red dot. Don't go above the red dot. So it's 3/4 of a cup of water. I actually grabbed my wife's measuring cup in order to figure that out, instead of just saying, put in a cup of water. So the question is, what do you add to the water? Or do you use reverse osmosis water or distilled water? I prefer reverse osmosis water, because a lot of the chemicals are already taken out of it by the filters. How do you clean these things? My wife says use lemon oil to clean them, because they can get deposits in them even if you use reverse osmosis water, not vinegar. I don't know why she said not vinegar, but I did ask, and that's what she said, not vinegar. But the idea then is to pick a flavor, so to speak. And one of the things about that is, choice of blend type. And I mentioned earlier about moods and aromas and things like that. And doTERRA has this emotional aromatherapy kit. And it has numerous oils in it, so that you can actually figure out where you belong on a chart that they have. This chart is pretty cool. And it talks about all the different plants that are available to us and the oils that come from them, so that you can pick citrus. And citrus has a very uplifting quality. doTERRA has done a really very interesting study using bergamot in a mental health waiting room, using a diffuser, and diffusing the oils in the waiting room of these patients who are there for mental health consultations, cause them to be more calm and less stressed while waiting in the waiting room. There's another great study where they did another citrus oil, orange, in a dentist's office to show that it decreased the anxiety of waiting for the dentist by waiting in the waiting room. I think it's a great idea. So for the most part, 3/4 of a cup of water, and depending on what your awareness of the scent is and what you're trying to achieve, like sleep. A lot of people ask me about sleep and oils. doTERRA has a Serenity Blend, which can be used as a blend in here, in these diffusers. But I just put in lavender, about 5 drops to 3/4 of a cup. And that gives a very background scent. The idea is not to be overpowering. It's kind of like you don't want rock music while you're trying to go to sleep. You want something soothing. Well, the same thing goes for your sense of smell. You don't want something overpowering for your sense of smell. So a gentle vapor just going into the air, have some fans in the room to help keep it moving. And this can run for several hours, do maybe 300-400 square feet very readily, and last about 3 or 4 hours with an automatic shut-off. That's pretty hip. A lot better than going around trying to make it happen with a spray bottle. But that is a pretty good way for certain types of things, like trying to get rid of mosquitoes in the backyard. These things won't do that. This one's called the Lumo. It's got a nice wood base, so it's solid, doesn't move around. It has 2, 5, and 10-hour time zones that it'll run, and I'm spilling on myself. That's why I got this towel here. I figure if I'm using water, I better have a towel. I forgot I pre-filled that one. This is the other one. It's also very cool. This one runs for like 8 hours at a time. Very reliable. Keep this one in my bathroom. So we travel with these. Keep the box when you buy it, put it back in the box, travel with it, set it up in the hotel room. You can have your own flavor in the hotel room instead of whatever they think to premix is going to be attractive to you when you're there with some chemical synthetic scents. You can have natural doTERRA scents. So that's it for my little diffusion thing. I'm going to leave this lavender going so I can be chilled while I'm doing this. You guys make me a little nervous, you know. This is supposedly an educational class. I hope I'm hitting the mark for you guys. So the thing about diffusion and inhalation, when I do my anesthesia patients, I put ginger in their palms and I have them huff it. And that puts a direct big dose of ginger oil into their head and into their sinuses and into those synapses that are regulated for nausea and vomiting. And that's a great way you can do that in the car too if you're traveling, or if you're up in the air in an airplane and you need to deal with some stomach discomfort. You can inhale ginger and huff it, rub it, smear it on your ears so you have a little topical application of it. See, topical applications of essential oils is also a very valid technique. Diffusion and inhalation, that's fabulous. I mean, it definitely, your mind has very specific nuclei and synapses that were designed to recognize perhaps 10,000 scents based on our human genome. But this is a little different when you start doing topical application, because the topical application of essential oils, your skin acts as a great reservoir. And skin is different for all ages. If you're a baby, you're thin-skinned, a little bit baby fatty still, but you can still have a great reserve for and a great ability to absorb oils. Typically on babies, you put the oil on their feet or their backs, kind of out of their range so they can't scoop it off their skin and get it in their mouths. You know, you got to apply it where they can't be, you know, doing it unless they can suck on their toes already, which some kids can do pretty young in age. But the idea is to get the oils onto you. The question is which ones, how much, and in what format. Usually, for the most part, lavender is thought of as being a neat oil. When you look at the back of a doTERRA catalog and they list all the different oils that they have, they use this really cool chart for each oil. Aromatic, which is the inhalation, topical, and neat is direct application. But some oils need to be diluted, and there's a big D there for that. Some oils are very irritating to skin and should be used in a very lower percentage. Like lemongrass oil is one of those ones high in citral, and it really needs to be diluted extensively, maybe 1 drop in 5 or 10 drops of this fractionated coconut oil. Fractionated coconut oil is a fabulous way to use oils. The thing that's beautiful about it is it's fractionated. They've taken out the fatty acids and esters that make the oil a solid at room temperature and have to be melted down. So this stuff is thin, non-greasy, and works excellently for massage. All ages. And it's good health food for your skin in a way. So you can take just a little bit of this and a little bit of that, mix it in maybe a 1, 3, 5, or 10% solution, and then apply it topically for a massage. Foot massages are great. That's how I won my wife's heart. One of the things that doTERRA does that's very unique is for their topical applications, they put these steel roller balls in the tops of these 10 ml vials, and they pre-mixed blends of oils in these roller balls so that you can actually get the scent. So this was the Father's Day one that I got. This is awesome, of Amavai. And it's a blend with the fractionated coconut oil as well as numerous other oils, black pepper, hoe wood, a little bit of this patchouli oil. Remember patchouli oil? I do. So there are ways of getting it pre-mixed from doTERRA, which is exceptionally hip. One of the things about their non-pre-mixed oils, it's very unique in terms of doTERRA. And it's very important to realize that when you get single oils like this lavender oil, at the bottom is a batch number. And that batch number will lead you on their website from your order form to the mass spec and gas chromatography for this batch of oils. You know, years ago when we looked at oils, it was like, oh, you got to have a mass spec, you got to have gas chromatography, but nobody knew what that meant or how to read it. But everybody knew that that was like the be-all and end-all of what was made oils valid. But nowadays, the science of aromatherapy and the adulteration of the oils in this day and time is so nasty and so severe that you need to have a company like doTERRA get out there and tell you that your batch is certified pure and therapeutic grade. And that's the comfort that I have when I use these and crack open these bottles. The single bottles are the ones that have their batch numbers with the mass spec and gas chromatography. And they're guaranteed to not be adulterated. And in this day and time, cheap oils, that's a problem. Now, doTERRA does have bar soap, and they have a couple different kinds. They have a Serenity bar soap, which is great for relaxation. But this one just came in the mail to me. The Onyx Balance. So this has Balance Blend in it, men's product. And I use it for shaving. Lather it up, put it on my face, shave with a blade. It's awesome. I love it. This soap, this works for me much better than the Dove or the other ones that I was trying and get a interface between that blade and my cheeks. The other thing that's really awesome that they produced was this blend for the aftershave and for moisturizing. And so I've been using this for the last couple of days, the Amavai aftershave. So this was the Father's Day thing. The Mother's Day one came out for Mother's Day, of course. It was slightly different. It had star anise, green mandarin, and pink pepper, and the ability to create and mix your own roller balls. So Mother's Day and Father's Day this year from doTERRA, pretty fabulous products came out on the use of oils from a topical standpoint in their own products that they do great R&D, research and development, and that in order to make really good compliant claims, because these are food products, food supplements, these oils, and they have to be thought of that way as food supplements, not making medical claims. So we're thinking about them in terms of health and wellness, well-being, and those benefits that can be derived from them, whether it's for your skin and the topical applications as a reservoir with further reabsorption by your bloodstream, you know, your capillaries and your arterioles into your bloodstream. Yeah, it does happen that way, and you get a significant amount of positive clinical effect in your body by using pure oils, therapeutic grade oils. Now, ingestion is another topic which is has a very interesting background, because a lot of it has to do with cultural. The Europeans, the British, and the French, they have two different attitudes. They're like loggerheads about many things in life, including the ingestion of oils. And one of the things that I find really important about oils is that they can be ingested, especially when you know that they are certified pure and of a therapeutic grade. Otherwise, I don't think I would dare ingest things that you can buy commonly off regular box store shelves. This stuff is a whole lot different quality. This is not food grade oil. So one way to use them is to actually mix them, choose what you want, and put them in little veggie caps and swallow the veggie caps whole. So in times of need, you can put in, oregano, basil, lavender, any number of different oils in veggie caps. You can look up your little recipes on Pinterest, places like that, and figure out how to ingest oils. Another way to do it is just frankly, put drops on the back of your hand, lick them off, or drops on your tongue directly from the bottle, as long as it says supplements facts on the bottle, which means that it's meant for internal ingestion. Now, a lot of people don't agree with this topic, but that's their problem and their loss. I do agree with it because I've seen the benefits in my life and the life of my family and many, 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 many other people who benefit from using oils internally. And originally I was taught by a British RN, and that was all she knew, not to use them that way. As a matter of fact, when I wrote my book and she edited, she actually had me take out the references that I had related to ingestion of oils because she didn't believe in it and she didn't think it was a good idea to promote it. But since then, I've learned a whole different thing and I've grown. And that's part of the idea about personal growth, that you remain open-minded. And many people need to be open-minded about the use of oils in their life and how they can benefit. Hope this has been a little bit of a help to you. Let me check out these questions that are on here. Is fractionated coconut an edible oil? Yes, it is actually. It's fractionated coconut oil. Now, some people would say there's a problem with nut oils and allergy to nuts, but I've never seen anybody have an allergic reaction to coconuts for some reason. Other nuts I've seen listed as allergies as an anesthesiologist, but never coconuts. It's always, peanuts, cashews, things like that, commonly seen. So I think at that I'm going to sign off for now. Hope you've enjoyed this little rundown on aromatherapy techniques, the aromatic sciences of ingestion, topical application of oils, as well as the diffusion or inhalation techniques with oils. And I really recommend you own your own diffuser and keep it running in your homes. For a big house, you need more than one. So feel free to look me up online at theoilmd.com and pick up your products, because that's what I do. I help people get their homes in order and their bodies in shape. Wellness to you, and promoting wellness through nature as the OilMD. Thanks for listening. Hope I can get one of these together some other time. That'd be wonderful to visit with you all again. You're the best. Bye-bye.